Squeaky chair. Hey guys, Doug, D-Music Reviews, back on the reviewing shindig thing. Sorry I've been away for so long, not that anybody's really missed me. Basically, I just completely lost interest in reviewing. I couldn't really be bothered. But I'm back now, mainly because I've now recently moved to England, so I've got a lot more free times on my hand and no job prospects, which also means no money, but luckily I was given this camera for free. This is a Fujifilm camera given to me by my dad, who's a professional photographer. This is what I used to record on, this tiny little handheld camera, which is terrible. It was really cheap, Hitachi DZ SV56OE. I don't even know what that means or why it's got such a long name, but this cost me like 20 bucks and it was pretty crap. So now I've got this, and I don't think the audio or video is really going to improve too much, because this is mainly meant for taking pictures, not taking videos. Like, the video settings are really slow, and really there aren't many, but it is going to be better than what I had before, I'm pretty sure of that, considering this cost a few £100s. But anyway, going to get back into reviewing, kicking off with a King Diamond review. For those of you who don't know me, I am a big King Diamond fan. I'm a King Diamond mark. I mark out whenever I listen to any of their albums, and if you're into wrestling, you might know what mark out means. I'm looking at you, Cover Killer. But anyway, basically I've been a huge King Diamond fan for ages. Their album Them got me into them, and so I'm going to review their latest album. Well, I say latest, they released it in 2007, it's just the one that they've done last, which is called Give Me Your Soul, Please. If you've never really heard of King Diamond, or if you're not really too familiar with them, then King Diamond are a heavy metal band from Denmark, or originally from Denmark. King Diamond himself now lives in Dallas, Texas. But basically, King Diamond is fronted by the frontman of Merciful Fate, King Diamond. This is his band, his solo band mainly, where he just brings in a few of his favourite instrumentalists to help him out and make all the music that he's wanted to make over the time of his career, basically. It's called a heavy metal band, but it was also considered sort of the first wave of black metal because it inspired so many black metal artists, and also because there are actually quite a lot of black metal elements in this. Mainly in the vocals you'll find. King Diamond is a fantastic vocalist. Maybe not in any sort of separate sense, like he's not the best screamer, he's not the best growler, anything like that, but he's got such a magnificent vocal range. He was also one of the first artists to really bring this huge vocal range into play with metal, including really high-pitched tones, which you'll hear in any of his music, including this album. They began in 1985 and are currently on hold because King Diamond recently had surgery, in fact emergency surgery, because he had 2 clogged arteries in his heart and had a heart attack, or a series of small heart attacks. So he's on the up and up now, but we don't know when we're going to get more music from him. Apparently he should be going into the studio again soon. He was going to just before his heart attack, but we'll see what happens. So this album was released in 2007. It is 13 tracks and is around almost 54 minutes, excuse me, it's about 2 seconds short, and it was released on Metal Blade. Going into this album, it's actually I was kind of scared to do it, because if you look at the early King Diamond career, look at his first sort of 5, 6, 7 albums, absolutely fantastic pieces of work, mainly including Them, Conspiracy, and what's it called, The Spider's Lullaby. They are fantastic albums for me. I absolutely love them, and they will always be some of my favourite albums. If you want to get into King Diamond, I recommend you go back to Them, mainly Them and Conspiracy, which are 2 sort of split albums, but they are joined together in the story. King Diamond is basically about horror stories. That's all the lyrical themes are about, generally. But they also tie into some real-life events that have happened to King Diamond, including hauntings, Satanism, magic, and all his different beliefs in religion, politics, things like that, where he creates horror stories in these albums. Give Me Your Soul, Please is all about... It's basically a house on a hill, it's alone, and things start going crazy, including, for instance, the dad ends up killing his 2 kids, which is a flashback to one event. and the people who own that house get haunted by the little girl, or at least the little girl, mainly the little girl who was killed. Which is actually kind of strange, because in a lot of King Diamond albums, it's about haunting and it always somehow involves a little girl. For instance, if you go to the previous album, The Puppet Master, released in 2003, then the storyline is all about a little girl who gets turned into a puppet. Also recommend that album, go and check that out too, yeah. But Give Me Your Soul Please is all about this one horror story, and King Diamond is fantastic in the way that he can really create a great concept album, and this is no difference. 13 tracks, starts off with a little intro and then gets right into it. Almost all of the songs in this album are really, really talented, include a lot of more guitar work than the previous, a lot more technical drumming. Not technical in the sense that it's all over the place, but it actually really flows. They create the music around the drumming in itself, and I think that's some really good stuff. I can't really say anything too bad about this album, but I mean, it is quite hard to listen to because it is 53 minutes, and after continuous listens, repeated listens, you do start to get sick of a few songs, but I mean, it's no real problem. These songs are meant to be played all together in one huge sitting, but at the same time there are songs in there, and most of the songs you can just single out and play on their own and it'll be fine. And they tell a story in themselves, but when they're all put together, that's when the big story comes out, so I think that's really good. I think that really works. The one thing I'm actually kind of displeased about is actually King Diamond himself. His vocal range, and it's actually to be expected, but his vocal range is downed a bit. It's lessened. He's not as good a vocalist as he was back in, say, 1985. But regardless, I mean, he's still got fantastic vocals, but you can tell that his voice box is straining. He can't really do what he used to do. He doesn't go so high-pitched in most of these songs as he used to do. He sort of tries to downplay it and go for a more in-between. That's all I can really say, is an in-between, a medium in his vocal range. He still goes a lot of lows. His lows are still fine, but he doesn't go so high, but that's to be expected. Other than that, I can't really say anything too bad about this album. It's a bit too long, could be shortened, but generally it's still quite good. And it's one of my favourite King Diamond albums, and I've really gone too quick on this review, and you probably haven't understood most of the things I've been saying. Sorry about that. But anyway, check out this album, really recommend it. If you're not into high-pitched or deep vocals, not growls, but if you're really not into anything like that, then this album you will hate. But for most people, this is something that will really interest you, and I think this is something that a lot of people can get into, especially if you're a Merciful Fate fan, because the two bands are so similar. So yeah, check it out, King Diamond, Give Me Your Soul Please, 2007, Metal Blade Records. You can find it all over the place. Thanks for watching the review. Sorry if it was a bit bad, which it was, and don't you dare say otherwise, because I will shoot you in the face! But generally, yeah, thanks for checking out the review. I'll try and slow them down in the future. I'm having to hurry right now because my parents want to go to bed. Check it out. See you next time. Thanks for watching.